Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time if you're new here. My name is Melissa. I am going to be talking about the movies that I watched, the shows I watched, the books I read. I was planning on reading more than one, but I only had time for one, so that was kind of a bummer, but whatever. I'm still gonna talk about it. I guess that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about. I guess we'll start with the TV shows. Why not? Obviously, if you're subscribed to me or you discovered me through the House of the Dragon videos, I think that was like the main show that I really focused on in October, especially because I was doing reactions to it. So, House of the Dragon, I I loved it. Like I really liked the first season. I did read the book. It's right here. I read it like 2 years ago though, so I wasn't really like it wasn't fresh in my mind, so I didn't remember everything. I think even forgot most of it, but I know the gist of it. So when the show was airing, I am the type of person that loves to go on Twitter because I love to see like the memes after each episode, and I like to hear other people's thoughts too. I have like almost no complaints about it, just like nitpicky things like some episodes were too dark. I feel like sometimes they change the actors so frequently that I didn't even have time to like get attached to them. At the end though, I didn't think I was attached to one of the characters. And then when they died, I was like, I don't know if I'm attached to them or if it's because the way they went out. I don't know. I really don't have any complaints. But then I went on Twitter and I saw so many people just like shitting on it, and it kind of not made me mad, but annoyed me. It really rubbed me the wrong way. They were pretty much shitting on the showrunners, the writers, and stuff, and I think they're scared that they're gonna ruin the book. I don't know. I feel like it's different this time. I really enjoyed this season. I think, well, I went to Comic Con and George R. R. Martin said he was more involved with this series than Game of Thrones. So I have full faith in it. There wasn't really anything in the show that turned me off from it. I think one of the main things was the whole, if you watched it, Daemon assaulting Rhaenyra pretty much by choking her. That scene, this kind of blew Twitter up, and it really divided like a lot of fans. And just for like my own headspace, I just wish that I never even went on it, because I like pretty much took a deep dive into it and everyone's like arguing about it, and honestly I'm on the side that's like I see why he did it, because he's hot-headed and he killed his other wife. Like, he's a morally great character, so you know what, I'll like let it go. People have done way worse in Game of Thrones and people still like stand them or whatever. A lot of the argument was that he shouldn't have done that because he liked Rhaenyra, or it's straight from the books. Honestly, I'm not too sure. Like, if you're one of those people that don't agree with the writing in that episode, then let me know. But I expected it to be worse because the episode actually got leaked, and a lot of people were not happy about that episode. But I really enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't enjoy him assaulting her, but I liked the episode and it made sense for his character. It wasn't like out of the blue. I mean, in the moment, I was like, what the fuck? This is not his character. He wouldn't do this. Like, he loves Rhaenyra, but like, I'm not Daemon. I'm not George R. R. Martin. Like, I'm not one to say that he would or wouldn't do that. So, wow, I talked a lot about Game of Thrones. Oh, I also got a ring. It's so cute. Let me see if you can... Hello, that's so freaking cute. I love it. I honestly can't wait for the next season. I'm so excited. It's gonna, like, I think shit's gonna really pop off. Of course, I think I'll be doing reactions to that. The next thing I've been watching is I wanted a show to kind of put me into the fall season. I wanted like a comfort show, something that just makes me feel cozy. So I finally started watching Gilmore Girls. I have never seen it before, but I have a lot of friends that were like, that kind of grew up with it. I freaking love that show. Like, it's just so cute. I love like the small town feel, and a lot of it, I think it's set in Connecticut, but it's just so like fall. Like coffee, sweaters, scarves, 90s, early 2000s outfits. It just all like I just love it so much. It's so cute and cozy. It's definitely my new comfort show, and I've kind of been getting influenced by Rory and Lorelai's style, like, you know, that early 2000s look, which is so, like, I don't know if it's cringy or not, but I'm so into that right now because of this show, and I think a lot of people were into, like, the whole boot cut, long sleeve, jackets, Converse outfits because of Vampire Diaries and because of Twilight. But now that I'm watching the show, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, it's so cute. If you haven't watched Gilmore Girls and you want something that you can just like kind of watch in the background of whatever you're doing, because it's like it's one of those that has like 22 episodes each season. So it's on constantly, and I love it. The next show that I watched in October, it's also pretty controversial. It's She-Hulk. A lot of people hated this. They hated, I don't know what they hated, honestly. Like, there was a lot of cringy lines, I think, that she said, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, this was basically created for to screenshot and post on Twitter and stuff like that." But I honestly, like, I didn't mind it. I thought it was a cute little show. It was short episodes, only like 6 or 8 episodes, I think. And I just can't help but love the main actress. I forgot her name. I think it's Tatiana. But I really liked watching that show. Like, it was cute, it was fast, it had Bruce Banner in it, and Daredevil, which I haven't seen the Netflix show Daredevil, but I know who he is. And I just thought, like, it reminded me of like the Hawkeye show. It's just very lighthearted, not anything like grand, like Avengers Endgame or even like WandaVision, I think was a really like, you have to pay attention to it. But She-Hulk was just such an easy watch, and I thought it was really cute too. I just really like the main character too. She was funny. Like, oh my god, the other thing was the whole like sex thing. I don't even. Apparently, people were like, "Whoa, she's having a lot of sex on this Disney show." But I mean, I liked it. The next show that I started watching, but I actually didn't finish it, is Dahmer. I love serial killer like shows, like, you know, true crime. I think it's called true crime. There was a whole thing with like the families didn't get back to them about the show, so apparently a lot of the families were like traumatized, like getting like re-traumatized with this show. I didn't finish it. I really, really love Evan Peters. I like Ryan Murphy, but it just like, it was a little bit slow for me at certain points, and I think I kind of lost interest in it. I don't know. It's just like with the whole thing about the families not really approving of this show, of having, I just can't even imagine like if someone wants to portray you on a show and you have absolutely no say in it. I think that's kind of crazy. But I can't even imagine how they feel, because they're the ones that it happened to them. So I don't know. I want to finish it, but I don't really have I don't feel strongly enough about it to finish it. Oh my gosh, there were so many things I wanted to watch for October, but I just got so busy that it just didn't happen, and I'm kind of sad because I really love horror. I love the horror genre, movies, TV shows, whatever. Haunting of Hill House, if you haven't seen that, you should definitely watch it. It's one of the best, not even horror shows. It's one of the best shows I've ever seen. Like, if you want a show with a perfect ending, there's a lot of shows out there that are amazing, but they end pretty, like, they sizzle out by the end. This is amazing from the beginning right until the end, and it's not just about getting scared. There's a lot of grief and loss. It has good themes. Anyways, I'm on a tangent. What was I watching? Cabinet of Curiosities by Guillermo del Toro. I love Guillermo del Toro. He's Mexican. I'm Mexican American, and I love a lot of the things that he produces and directs. So, of course, I wanted to give this a shot. I watched the first 2 episodes. I haven't finished the 3rd episode yet, which is Autopsy. They're also like every episode is different. So every episode is a different story. So if you are interested in something like that, then you should probably give this a shot. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like anything groundbreaking. The first 2 episodes, I can't speak for the rest, but they're not like groundbreaking, amazing horror or whatever. Like they're just good little spooky, scary stories. And I really enjoyed it. The 3rd episode, I think I should rewatch it again because I was carving pumpkins and I got a little bit distracted carving my pumpkin. Okay, I'm moving on to movies now. I have my Letterboxd here. If you want to follow me on Letterboxd, I always rate them and give them a little review or whatever. But if you want to follow me on Letterboxd, I have my link in the description. So go ahead and follow me there so you can see what I'm watching. The first movie I watched was Smile. It was also like not a very groundbreaking movie, nothing like really innovating, but I was scared. I think it takes a lot to scare me because like I said, I love horror movies, but I freaking love this movie. It's just one of those, like, I don't want to call it stupid, but just a good thrill. I thought the acting was amazing too. The cinematography was not really like inventive. There was a lot of, I think, like, when it starts like this and the camera goes like this and it goes behind and upside down and whatever, just a lot of like weird shots and like maybe Dutch angles, which is when it's like tilted. I think it had Dutch angles. I'm not really sure. I know it had like upside down shots. Also not like groundbreaking, but it was really cool to watch. It was scary, and I'm glad I watched it in October because spooky season. Hardly watched anything scary, so I'm glad I watched that in the theaters. The audience, I just love watching scary movies with an audience. I love hearing people scream and like laugh and nervously giggle and stuff. The story kind of reminded me of like It Follows, which is the movie about this girl gets haunted by this entity and the only way to get rid of it is by having sex with someone else. And I think that one is like kind of a metaphor for not kind of, it is, I think, a metaphor for STDs. So, but this one in Smile, the only way to get rid of it is if you, spoiler alert, if you kill someone. Yeah, so oh my god, actually the ending was kind of scary to me. I was like, oh, how is she gonna get rid of this ghost? Like, how is she gonna get rid of, it's not a ghost, the thing, the curse, I guess. So it kind of had me on my toes at the end. The next scary movie I watched in theaters was Halloween Ends. Oh my gosh. I have a lot of thoughts about this. I was kind of weird. Like, I'll try to be spoiler free as I can. But we got introduced to a new character, and this character was kind of like took over in the movie. I thought Jamie Lee Curtis's character was going to be the main character, but it just didn't, to me at least, I felt like the new character was the main one. And also, I just expected more from Michael Myers. Again, I don't want to give any spoilers, but I'll say, like, I just thought that there was going to be more kills or something from him. More about him anyways. And then I was like, oh, this character, I can see where they're going. I know what they're going to do. And then at the end, it just like, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be at all. So I don't know, like it wasn't, I don't know if I can say it was predictable. Maybe for some people it might be, but for me, I was expecting something else. I was like, oh, I know where they're going with this. And it just wasn't that. So in the end, I was just kind of like, what was the point? But still, I gave it 3 stars. So, I mean, I enjoyed my time. I liked watching it. I was engaged, and I didn't really get bored. So, if I don't get bored, then that's a good sign. The next movie that I watched is Decision to Leave, which is, if you've seen Handmaiden, which is on Prime, or Park Chan-wook. He did Old Boy, a few other movies, but I think those are like his two like big movies. So Decision to Leave, it's about it's like a old fashioned like detective movie. I really enjoyed it. Also, it's in Korean, I think. Korean, and one of the characters also speaks Chinese. So there's, unless you want to watch it with like dubbed, which I don't recommend, you have to watch it with subtitles. But just by the way, it's about this detective that has a case where there's a dead man, and he starts to suspect his wife, the man's wife, of murder, but he ends up falling in love with her. So there's that. There's a lot more to it. I don't think that was very much a spoiler at all. That's the basic plot of it. So if that sounds interesting to you, go watch it. I think it's worth a watch. I liked it, but I actually felt the runtime. I thought it at some points I was like, dang, this movie feels like it's 3 hours long, and it was only 2 hours and 18 minutes. But I gave it 4 stars, but there was definitely times where I was like, the runtime, the pacing was off, for me at least. But oh my god, it was such a good movie. There was a lot of metaphors in there. The dialogue was pretty cool. The shots were really, really cool. If you're one of those people that likes symbolism, there's a lot of symbolism in this movie. And there's a love story. There's murder. Obviously, it's a detective movie. I forgot to mention, I went to a Q&A for this movie. So Park Chan-wook was there. And a couple people in the audience got to ask him questions, which was really cool. But yeah, good movie. It was just a little bit too long. Before I get to the book that I read, I want to give a shout out to Merit Beauty. They were kind enough to send me this great skin instant glow serum. I've been using it for a few days now, every morning, every night. Just put it over my moisturizer, and it's honestly like super weightless. There's no scent to it. You have to like shake it before. Well, I recommend when you pump it into your palm, because it's really, really thin and it'll run through the like cracks of your fingers. But I really like it. It's very like glowy. Just pat it onto your skin and it'll absorb really fast. So I can't wait to keep using it, and I'm gonna see what it does to my skin, because I think I've only been using it for a few days now. I also want to mention that it has hyaluronic acid in it and niacinamide, which are 2 things that I've been using from other brands, but I like that this serum has both of them in there. So if you're interested in buying this or anything else from Merit, please feel free to click on the description. There's a link below with my code. If you get anything over $40, you get free shipping, and with your first order, you get the signature bag, which is a cute little makeup bag. So I'll talk about the book that I finished, which took me like, oh my gosh, I think I started this book in August, and it just took me so long. Let me show you guys what it was. It is this book right here. It's Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. I think I said that. I don't know if I said that right. But yes, this took me so long. This book is also so controversial. There's a lot of people out there that are like, heck no, I'll never read that nasty book in my life. And a lot of people are like, well, it's a good book if you like know what it's really, really about. So basically the premise of this book, content warning, there's pedophilia in here, and like grooming and all that kind of stuff, everything that falls under that. So this book is basically about, there's the main character, Humbert Humbert, and he is a pedophile, and he falls in love with a 12-year-old girl, and I guess it's just about that. That's what it is. He falls in love with this 12-year-old girl, and it's just event after event that happens, and it's very hard to read at certain points. Like, I thought it would be a little bit more subtle in his pedophilia, but no, he straight up says like nasty stuff that I had to put the book down, and I was like, what the fuck? But in the book's defense, this is it's really beautifully written, and what I mean by that is the prose, like the way he writes it, the way he describes like scenery or just like anything. Honestly, he's just a very, very good writer. He also is a victim of sexual assault, and I think a lot of people think that because he wrote this book that he must be a pedo as well, which is definitely not the case. So if you want to give this book a shot, I think it was written in the 60s, originally published in 1955. So it is a little bit hard to read, for me at least. Like, it's got lots of older language. Also, it's very character driven, so if you're more into like plot driven stories, then this probably isn't for you. But I like prefer plot driven stories, and I still like this book. It, like I said, it took me months to finish, and it did put me in a reading slump, but I honestly don't know. Like, I can't tell if it's because the content is just so triggering, or if it's because the maybe it's just like hard to read. Like some paragraphs I was like, I had to go back and reread because I was like, what the fuck did I just read? Also, along with this, I did I listened to a podcast called the Lolita Podcast. I listened to it on Spotify, and it just it had like a lot of conversations of why people think it's such a controversial book, and people's opinions about why they read it, why they liked it. I haven't finished the podcast yet because I kind of stopped when I finished this, but I'm definitely going to keep listening to it. There is a message. It's about pedophilia, but there is a message. Basically, the message is, and it tells you in the foreword too, apply yourselves with still greater vigilance and vision to the task of bringing up a better generation in a safer world. So it's pretty much just like a cautionary tale. One thing I noticed about this book is he loves his alliterations, and I loved reading them. Like, there's something here that says blah blah blah, there's a sentence, and it goes, with geometrical gestures, geographical generalities, and blah 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 blah. Like, I don't know, I was like, ooh, alliteration. I really enjoyed that. And the last thing I am reading, I started it in October, and I think I'm gonna finish it soon because it's definitely like YA, I think, and way easier to read. It's new. This one is like 1955, kind of a little bit old. So this book is I'm not even sure. I don't even know. I'm 50 pages in. It reminds me a lot of The Cruel Prince, and it's basically about this human that has to go to the fairy world because, not fairy, it's like fae. I don't know. I think there's a difference. I'm not sure yet. But she has to go to this fae world, which are dangerous creatures, because they kidnapped her sister, and she has to go get her sister back. At least that's where I am. So it's pretty easy to read, honestly, and I meant to read this in October, but like I said, I got really busy and I just didn't do it. But that's pretty much all. And while we're here, I might as well tell you guys that I listened to the music I listened to, which is the new Taylor Swift album, which is freaking amazing. I love it. It like made me a fan. I want to show you guys what I want to read this month, but it's kind of like buried in there. Should I get it? Okay, I'll get it. These are the books I want to read this month, which I most likely will not finish all of them at all, but if I finish this one this month, then I'm gonna keep picking from this stack. The Bell Jar, which is by Sylvia Plath. It's also a classic. I don't know. I don't really know what it's about, but I really want to read it because it reminds me of fall. I think this is also a book which you should read, like, content warning for. There's that. Ooh, Rebecca. I'm so excited to read this one. I love like gothic romances, and I watched the Netflix remake of it. I have the original movie from the Criterion Collection, but I watched the Netflix remake, and I didn't hate it. Like, a lot of people hated that movie, and I didn't mind it. Like, I was like, this isn't that bad. So I really like the story. I know I like the story. I just hope that I can get through this book because, like I said, I struggled with Lolita, and I think I struggle in general with like classic books, like older classic books, but I'm hoping I really like this one because I love gothic romances, and this is just like right up my alley. Oh my gosh. The next book I want to read, oh shit. I want to read it because it's, you know, like in Harry Potter, there's like boarding school, rich kids, secret societies. This one is called The Secret History, and I'm just like, I'm all on board with this. It's very fall, winter vibes, I think. I think there's a murder in here. I'm not sure. I know it's like rich kids in college or something, or like high school. Not high school. It's a boarding school. College? I'm not sure. But secret societies, like very dark academia, which I'm excited for that because I do like dark academia. This one, The Picture of Dorian Gray, I don't know why, but like, I don't really even know the story of this. Something about him not aging or something. This just gives me like fall vibes too, and I'm a seasonal reader, so if something gives me like spring vibes, I'll read it in the spring. I'll wait until spring to read it. But this, it's also a classic. I'm hoping it's also not hard to read. And I'm excited. Like, I've been wanting to read this book for like a year. Okay, so the last one, I bought this one a while ago. It's called The Ninth House by Lee Bardugo. Kind of like The Secret History. It's also like dark academia vibes. Not sure at all what it's about. I don't know anything about this book, but the cover is so cool. Look at the snake. Ooh. Yeah, I also, like, I really need to put those away, but this pillow is so freaking comfortable. I love snuggling it, but it's, like, not Halloween anymore, and those I'm just too lazy to take down. So, that's pretty much everything I watched and read in October, so I don't know, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. This was kind of fun to make. I don't really do, like, I've never done a video like this, so let me know if you guys liked it, if you guys want to see more, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Okay, bye. Bye!